What is up, Super Fam and Bro Vengers alike? I am Sensei Finito, and welcome to Marvel Bros, where we discuss all things Marvel and excuse me, and everything pop culture. And today we have a jam-packed episode for y'all as usual, and I hope everybody is ready to get all into it, all into the jam-tastic, fantastic things that we have to talk about today. And just so you know, we also do have an amazing jam-packed week of stuff that we're going to be talking about because Ahsoka premieres this week. I don't know if you guys knew that, but I do, and I'm pumped. So definitely let me know how you guys are feeling about Ahsoka in the comment section down below. Are y'all ready for Ahsoka? Let me get a 1 if you're ready. Let me get a 2 if you're not. And let me get a 3 if you don't even really know what's going on when it comes to Ahsoka. And if you don't even know who Ahsoka is. Because that could be very possible. As for me, though, I am hyped for Ahsoka. Like, I am extremely hyped. Tomorrow, we will be doing our watch party and review. We'll be talking about that all more later. If you guys haven't already, make sure you follow us on social media at Marvel Bros to stay up to date with all the latest news, movie reviews, and content that we post every single day. And you can also follow me on social media at Sensei Finito to stay up to date with all my thoughts, theories, and opinions on whatever particular thing we may be partaking in at that particular time, if you do particularly feel so obliged to particularly do so. You feel me? Hope everyone's having a good, fantastic day so far. We have like I said, we do have an amazing jam-packed week of things to get into. Where would that be located at? Hold on. Am I tripping? I don't think I am. Nope, 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 nope. I'm not sure where it's at, but here you go. Here's what this week's stuff is gonna kind of be looking like. Hopefully, we got our Ahsoka watch party tomorrow. We're gonna hopefully be doing our trailer watch party tomorrow as well. Um, we're gonna be checking out the Wheel of Time Origins on Wednesday, and then Adam and Eve will be for Thursday. Because Gran Turismo is coming out this week, and I've already seen that, so I don't have to see it twice. And then the only other movie that's coming out in theaters is Retribution, which is the Liam Neeson movie that's exactly like every other Liam Neeson movie. Uh, so, yeah, we're going to be getting into all of that good stuff in just a little while here. Mark your calendars. But as I said, Blue Beetle is the first. I don't know if I have said this, but we're going to give our movie review for Blue Beetle as well. I really did like it. If you guys pay attention to the channel, then you'll probably have already saw my Blue Beetle review. Okay, let's turn the dinging and the ringing off. Jeez. My bad, y'all. That was my business phone. I was like, what's happening? I know my phone is on mute, but it was the business phone. Let's get it. Let's get it. Yes, I did love me some Blue Beetle. Uh, Let me know how you guys felt about Blue Beetle. If you saw Blue Beetle, give me your overall feelings of Blue Beetle in the chat. Of course, let me know how you guys are feeling about it. I'm going to give you my full review and thoughts in just a second. When it comes to Blue Beetle now, moving away from Ahsoka and into Blue Beetle, let me get a 1 in the chat if you liked Blue Beetle. Let me get a 2 in the chat if you did not like Blue Beetle. And then let me get a 3 in the chat if you haven't seen Blue Beetle yet. Just so we can get a little bit of temperature check within the chat to see how everyone's feeling. If you can, give me give me a quick review of it. And then, of course, also use the Marvel Bros scale to let me know how you felt about the movie overall. And I'll be doing the same just here shortly. I will be doing the same. I'll tell you guys how I feel initially, and then I'll also give you my uh thoughts like how I felt afterwards as well. Yeah. Yeah, I think these are proper feelings about the movie. Jesus. Why is this? And this is. Oh, check these out. Before we get into Blue Beetle, here is the popcorn tin that I got. Here's the popcorn tin. And it's actually a tin. It's not plastic. This thing is actually super fire. I'm not going to lie. Super fire. And then here's the cup. I really like the cup as well. I really like both of these, to be completely honest. The tin is probably, I like the tin a lot more. Like, look at that. They went crazy. They went really crazy with that. Let's actually bring these up a little bit more so these can be a little bit more showcased. Bam. Bam. Actually, let's flip it around like that. Yeah. Yeah. Boom. Okay, I see everyone is kind of giving their thoughts and opinions about Blue Beetle, so I'm gonna just let you guys kind of get some more of those out. No spoilers in the chat for people that haven't seen it. It is only the third day or the fourth day now that the movie has been out, so let's give it a little bit of breathing room. Don't go too heavy on the spoilers. I'll let you guys know when it will be spoiler time. Because it ain't spoiler time yet. And like I said, we're going to use the Marvel Bros scale to kind of go through and give it an overall score and rating. Right? So we're going to give this an overall score and rating in just a moment here. As I said. But first, let's talk about how I felt about the movie. You know, at first, yeah. I was right with what I said. Oh, and then I don't know if you guys saw the news. We did put it up on the channel, but me and Remy are indeed inspecting a new baby. So a new baby is on the way. Trust me, it is a huge surprise to us, but we're happy nonetheless. So a new baby is on the way and will be here yet again in January. So this will be our third January baby, which is actually insane. I can't even believe that we're gonna have 3 babies in January, but we will. So yeah. So there that is. Go ahead and just let y'all know that. And yeah, like I said, we're excited, we're hype. Everything is going a lot better now. Every time Remy is pregnant, she gets very, 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 very sick. So that was kind of why things were a little rocky there for a little while, was because, Remy was sick, and when mommy is sick, that means daddy got to go in full blown daddy mode for 10 billion%. You know what I'm saying? Because we a team out here in these streets. So I was taking care of her, taking care of the kids and stuff for a little while there. But now she's back to being better. And now we're just hyped for the baby. For little baby on the way. Little baby on the way. And we're super pumped. Let's see. Congratulations. Hey, I appreciate all of y'all. Thank you for the love. We'll get into I know I haven't really been in the chat like that yet, but we will get in the chat right after we talk about something that y'all may know about. If y'all don't know about it, y'all should know about it. And if you don't know about it, you will after this. So we're about to get into our review for Blue Beetle. But you know what this tin needs? It needs a little bit of popcorn. So why don't you go get some and fill it up?
Hi, my name is Dominique Pruitt, and I started Don's Bomb Gourmet Popcorn LLC in the summer of 2021 to introduce delicious and unique flavored popcorn not found anywhere else in the world. Why, you ask? Because I make it in my home with love, just for you. We offer over 10 flavors and are continuously creating new flavors that can be customized to any color or taste for your next event, party, or fundraiser. So go find yourself to our website and find a bombastic flavor of popcorn at donsbombgourmetpopcorn.com, or you can also follow us on Instagram or Facebook at Don's Bomb Gourmet Popcorn.
That is right. So make sure y'all go get you some Dom's Bomb Gourmet Popcorn so you can get the popcorn that is always bomb, made by Dom, and also gourmet. Yo, I just realized I got the wrong shirt on. So look, so let's do a quick wardrobe change and then we'll jump into chat. Now that's better. Now that's better. You feel me? All right. Nighthawk says, yo, what's up with it, Nighthawk? How you doing, G? Let's see if we can get some Marvel Bucks actually working up in here today. Andre says, hey there, what's up with it, Andre the Explorer? How you doing, brother? Good to see you back in the chat so much, man. Almost thought it was canceled. Nah. 6:30, baby, 6:30. And you know, if it's not 6:30 on the dot, it might take a little bit of time to get in between there, but we always going to be going live. Hello. What's up with it, Mari Sue? I hope you're having a marvelous Monday. Dang Good Food says this movie was fire. After being disappointed again and again, I am happy the DCU can finally get a win. Hey man, I like the movie a lot. I'm not gonna lie. I am indifferent on that show. I feel it. I don't know if you're a big Star Wars fan like that or not. I enjoyed the movie, but it's basically dead on arrival. I don't know if they can call it a win. That's very true. That's very true. I have not seen Blue Beetle yet. Oh, okay. 3, 1, okay, 1. 3, but I'm going to go see it this Friday. All right, bet. DC is cursed. Yeah, DC is it does seem like DC is a little cursed. I'm not gonna lie. It does seem that way. That popcorn tin is spiffy. Hey, thank you. I appreciate it. Yeah, it's one of them. It's up there. There hasn't been a lot of tins. The Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle one by far is probably the best one. The next one that I like the most is the Avatar Way of Water, and then it would probably be this Blue Beetle one. All the other ones are plastic. But I got some pretty dope plastic ones as well. Congrats, Sensei, to you and Rime. Hey, I appreciate you, Andre. I appreciate all the love from y'all, for real. I got one popcorn tin that I love and was for Captain Marvel. I wasn't getting popcorn tins and stuff like that yet when Captain Marvel had came out, unfortunately. Blue Beetle is a 9 out of 10. Victoria Court is the only problem I had with that movie. Yo, that's really funny that you said that because Remy also mentioned Victoria Court pretty thoroughly. She was like, there was a couple parts in there when I was like,
what's going on?
but it'd be like that sometimes. Don't care if there are spoilers. Won't change if I will watch it or not. I feel that. 3 birthdays and Xmas all around the same few weeks. I guess we know when to not ask for Sensei money. Ask Sensei for money. Hey, I guess you know when you can, also, feel free to get you some Brovengers subscriptions and all that type of stuff. You know what I mean? Get you your Brovengers membership today. Quick, fast, and in a hurry. You know what I mean? You know what I'm saying? Let's get that going, around right around October. You know what I'm saying? Let's just let's get them memberships up a little bit. All right. So, with all that being said and in and out the way, let's get into my review for Blue Beetle and my overall ranking for all the different stuff. And then we can get a little bit deeper into how you guys felt about Blue Beetle as well. So, let's get into it, y'all. Also, I hope everyone had a good weekend. Let me know if you guys had a good weekend. I hope you did. I hope you really did have a good weekend for real. Because I definitely had a good weekend, vibing and chilling with my wife and cleaning up our house and doing stuff like that. It was a good productive weekend. I ain't gonna lie, and I hope y'all had a good productive weekend as well. So let's get into the review for Blue Beetle. All right. Blue Beetle was a fun, heartwarming, and refreshing take on the superhero genre. This movie was a lot better than I thought it would be. Complemented by a great cast and interesting story, Blue Beetle is a wonderful superhero movie that doesn't lean too heavily on the cliches, and the ones that are there still add a good amount of development to the overall story. So this is what I wrote when I was in the theater when the movie ended, of course, as the credits were rolling, and I kind of went through, rated the movie, and gave my first impressions and wrote this out, right? So after that, the thing that we always have to look at now that we have the Marvel Bros. Scale, is we have to dissect each of these, not dissect to the extreme, but we have to look at each of these things that are right here on the Marvel Bros. Scale. We have to look at them individually, rate how it was for the movie, at least how we felt about it, how we felt it was in the movie, and just kind of be able to, give a little bit more context to how we feel about the movie. So, first things first with originality. I kind of said this in the review that I did, but when it comes to these superhero movies, I think it's really hard to give originality for them. But for what this was, I appreciate it, and I think that they handled the origin story really well, and not doing the same exact thing that we've seen a million times. So, originality was something that I definitely had to take into consideration with this movie. And I will say that my overall rating of this has changed because of some things that I have seen via, on Twitter and stuff like that, and it just kind of made me realize some other things. So my rating that I have for this scale here, when it comes to originality, it is different from what my ranking is for it currently now. When it comes to creativity, I kind of feel like creativity is very similar to originality. It's very hard to come with a lot of creativity or a lot of originality when you come with these superhero stories that have been told before, that are very similar with each other as well, and all that good stuff, right? So I'm gonna go deeper into these once I give the ratings, but I'm just kind of talking about each one right now. So. And then once again, that thing that I saw on Twitter did actually impact my opinion on the originality and creativity of this movie. When we go to plot, I actually had an okay time with the plot. But there was some issues that I did have for sure, and some of those issues that I had with the plot are also some issues that I had with the pacing and structure. So I'll say that both of those things are a little different for me. When it comes to the characters, I actually did appreciate every single character in this movie, even Victoria Cord, although I can definitely see how there was some issues with her character, and more with her acting more than her character, I think. It's kind of wild. I think they put in a lot more effort into all the other characters except for Victoria Cord, and I don't know if that's because she will be appearing in some other stuff or they're going to use another instance to build her up, but I just kind of wasn't the biggest fan of her. But the cinematography in this movie, I will say it was fantastic. The cinematography for Blue Beetle was fantastic. It did not feel super outdated the same way that The Flash did. In my opinion, The Flash felt like the movie that we were supposed to get 10 years ago when it was originally going to come out, but never did. That's the movie that we got with The Flash. As for this movie actually feels like it is a modern day type of superhero movie rather than something that's still kind of stuck in the past, for lack of better words. And then when we go to the sound quality, that also was amazing. Okay, just to go back to cinematography a little bit, they really went crazy with this movie when it comes to cinematography. I mean, they went it's insane the way that the CGI looks in this movie at times. Of course, it does have its moments where it's like, sheesh. But the moments that aren't the bad sheesh, it's a really good sheesh. And the way that the armor actually appears on our main character is probably one of the best things that I've seen in a really long time. And I like that way more than the whole nanotechnology thing that has kind of been the wave up until now. It is basically nanotechnology, but the way it looks is a lot better than the ones that we've seen lately, because it's kind of a burn that goes over the entire body, which is just, pun intended, fire. Okay. Sound quality, again, beautiful. The sound quality was amazing. Those sound effects that it uses at different times were really awesome. The central HUD that Blue Beetle has at times, it does a lot. It does a lot visually for me. It kind of gives me that old school and new school feeling once again. That's kind of blended. And I really just appreciated that. And when it comes to the music score as well, I really did like the music. The music in this movie actually complements everything else that's going on, especially with the sound quality. So starting off, the music was a little bit jarring to me, just because I wasn't very I'm not very acclimated to that type of music that is played in this movie. But at the very beginning, I was just like, wait, what? Oh, and then it like tuned in that it was almost like a cultural tune-in, right? Like it became a little bit different. It's like, hey, the way they started the movie off, it was like, this is a movie that is not just Like, the music isn't just here. The stuff that is a part of the movie is actually a part of acclimating you to the culture that you are not used to in the first place. So movies that do stuff like that really hit a different type of vibe for me, because first and foremost, because when it comes to these movies, there's just I love that people who are understanding or do know a lot about the culture, it gives more to them. It's no, not it doesn't give more to them. It's just memorable. It activates a certain part of their brain that lets them know that this is like, this is relative to me. This relates to me. Like, when you hear a song that you know is just heavily rooted in your culture, or a smell, or eat a food that it just reminds you not just of, home, or not just of, your grandma or your mom, but it reminds you of an entire culture moreover. And that is like how the music was used within this movie 100%, as well as the sound quality. Those things definitely went hand in hand. The dialogue in this movie, for the most part, it was good. But it definitely dipped off at certain times that made me just kind of like want to just be like, all right, bro, like, let's move on from here. But then it actually doesn't get to that point it doesn't get to that point entirely ever. It just kind of teeter-totters with that point. You know what I mean? It's like, all right, are we going to milk this situation and make it extremely corny, or are we just going to stick with the regular corn? And then most of the time it sticks with the regular corn. Like, it does stick with just regular corn, and I think regular corn is fine. I like corn. So, it was solid with the dialogue. And then entertainment value, I can't lie. I loved this movie because of the entertainment value it has. I never found myself bored. I never found myself being like, damn, this movie is too long. I did find myself thinking, wow, I can't believe this movie is this long, because it was like, I didn't think that they would have actually been able to pull off having the movie, hit for that long. But it did. It really did hit for that whole 2 hours. I think the entire 2 hours that it is. It definitely was like, I feel like every ounce of the 2 hours was needed. Right. A lot of things that I had issues with early on within the movie actually were answered towards the end, but that hurt the movie in my opinion. So let's go into my actual ranking, and scoring for this movie across the board. Okay. All right. So originality, I gave it an 8. I'm not gonna lie. I gave it an 8 for originality at first. But the thing that I saw on TikTok was that not TikTok, Twitter, was that this movie is basically Ant-Man. This movie is Ant-Man, right? Blue Beetle is Ant-Man with a little extra steps. Blue Beetle is just Ant-Man with extra steps. Wait. Let me change one thing real quick. I just saw that. Blue Beetle is definitely Ant-Man with extra steps. I'm not mad about that, because I like Ant-Man. I think it's a solid movie. And for all intents and purposes, I think this movie does a couple of things a little bit better than Ant-Man does, right? But it is Ant-Man. And that's not something, really, yeah, that's just not something that I think they, now that I know that, it makes me understand. Like, it's like, okay, that definitely hits the originality and creativity. Well, not the creativity as much, just because the things that they actually did in this movie, I really actually think they did a really good job with the creativeness. When I give that creativity a 9, that 9 is definitely coming from how the burn is happening, how the suit gets burned on, right? How the HUD looks, and it has that old school vibe to it. And I really, really appreciated that, right? But once again, with it's Ant-Man, right? Like literally the dude who had the suit before. It's his daughter that is the one that gets the suit, that wants the suit next, and then the dude comes in and accidentally gets it. Like it's basically Blue Beetle all the way down. I mean Ant-Man, all the way down to the villain, right? All the way down to the villain even wanting to copy the suit and put that out there for forever. You know what I'm saying? And make an army of it. So it's definitely a little interesting when we get to that point, right? Plot, you know, plot is just a little. The plot, I'll get at an 8. I can give that an 8. That's okay. I think this is supposed to be a 7. Let me actually change that real quick. Oh no. This was I was a 7.5. There we go. Okay, so for the pacing and structure, I gave that a 7.5. That was actually my least favorite thing about this movie, to be completely honest, is the pacing and the structure. I just didn't. I'm not a fan of the pacing and structure of how this went through. I'm not gonna lie. There was a couple moments where like, okay, for instance, our big bad guy. There is a vital piece of information that they saved to give you until the very last minute, and I just wasn't a big fan of that. I wasn't a big fan of that. I wasn't a big fan of the pacing at the beginning made me a little nervous, but then it slowly did get better. It just kind of felt like the movie was a little bit jumbled up, just a little, and not super much, but just enough to be like, damn, son, like, damn, like, damn. Characters, I kind of already talked about the characters. I liked all the characters in this movie. I loved the grandma. Same thing with the grandma. I felt like there was a couple of pieces of dialogue that was just completely looked over for this movie that definitely would have went a long way for the overall climax that they went for, right? Like there was like 3 conversations that are like really dire conversations that I think should have been had with the grandma, with the big bad, with multiple people, to where we would have got a little bit more context onto certain situations that feel like it just happens because of reasons, right? But once again, it makes up for it in its own weird way because of the way that it's structured. So, it is what it is. This, yeah, the cinematography was truly amazing. I think I could have gave the cinematography a 10 for this movie, to be completely honest. But again, there was just moments that were like, it was just a little interesting, right? Most of Blue Beetle's moments were magnificently beautiful. It really comes in with the big bad and some other things that occur. It kind of looks interesting and gets a little Spy Kids-ish, at certain points. But it's so good that it doesn't this movie is so good on this to be honest, that it doesn't hurt the things that's wrong with this movie don't hurt this movie entirely, but it does, it does bring it down from an A to a B. You know what I mean? And that's really the big deal. Sound quality, music score were both 9s out of 10s for sure. They did a really good job with the music. They did a really good job with the sound quality and just things like that. I think the only reason why it wasn't a full blown 10 out of 10 is because I think the use of certain things was a little over the top. Just to kind of, I think they kind of were I don't want to say beating a dead horse, but that's it. They were beating the dead horse. They were really trying to nail a certain thing home with the sound quality and the music score, and I don't think they needed to nearly nail it as hard as I think as they think that they did need to nail it. But then again, that's just my opinion. You know, that might be something that might be different for someone else. And then the dialogue, like I already said, that was an 8.7 out of 10. It wasn't terrible. It really wasn't terrible, but it was not perfect either. But it was definitely better than just good. You know what I mean? So that's why I could give that a solid 8.7, because when it came to the dialogue of like George Lopez, of the parents, of the father, there's just really heartfelt moments in this movie, and I think that the moments that hurt it are nowhere near as good as the highs, right? Like the dad in this movie is definitely insanely like amazing, right? Like the dad is insanely amazing. I'm okay with the mom. The sister, I had an issue with the sister at the beginning, but over the course of the movie, I liked her more and more. All the things that I had issues with, I ended up liking them more once the movie ended, right? But once again, when it comes to the dialogue, there's just a few conversations or a few scenes that could have happened or occurred just to set the pacing and just let it be known a little better on what the hell was actually going on. You know what I'm saying? But yeah. So overall, I give it an 85.9 out of 100. Let me know what your guys' score is using the Marvel Bros scale. For real, use that Marvel Bros scale and let me know what's going on. So we can kind of get it locked in and loaded. You know what I'm saying? Let's see. All right. So I'm about to jump into chat to see how y'all are feeling. But first, make sure y'all go and get you some glitch energy. I am Sensei Finito, aka Vane Sensei, and I'm here with my bro.
Yo, y'all already know it's Vane DeVito, bro. We up in here, man. Today, we came with a little surprise for y'all, which was a little surprise for us as well. Facts. And we've been waiting on this surprise. So y'all see it. Y'all see it.
You feel me?
Little delivery box.
We
right
got the
there.
little box
You know what I mean?
from none other than Glitch Energy, yo.
Yo, big glitch out here. You know what I'm saying? Shake it, shake it, shake it, shake it. Shake it like a song, shake it like a glitch, shake it like a glitch, shake it like a glitch. We in there.
Ooh, it smelled dumbass good.
Fire? Ooh.
This is the starter kit. I believe it starts at $15. We got the shaker, 5 flavors. I'm not sure if that's how it comes. That's what they sent to us. So we definitely appreciate that. But y'all definitely check it out. Tell us what your favorite flavor is if you've already tried it.
I'm on go mode. I'm on go mode. Bitch, I'm on go mode.
Alrighty. So, get y'all some Glitch Energy immediately and make sure you use code MAIN to get 10% off, man. I'm trying to let y'all know. Glitch is the way to go if you feeling a little slow. Alright, let's see how we're feeling in the chat. Blue Beetle actually made me cry 2 times. Damn. Alright, Nighthawk, I feel that. It was definitely a very touching and emotional movie, I'm not gonna lie. That's actually what me and Remy said, like, kind of first off, as soon as the movie ended. We kind of looked at each other and we're like, damn, that was emotionally heavy. Like, I don't know if I was ready for that movie to be that emotionally heavy. You know what I mean? It was really like a heavy movie. And a lot of things were going on. I really liked it. I really liked it. And once again, like, things that I didn't like until I did like them. Because of the movie, like, and I feel like that's what a movie should do, right? When something is added that you don't like, if it makes sense because of the story, then that's fine, right? But if it's just a weird decision that was just made for the sake of making a decision, then that's kind of lame, and that's kind of how I feel about certain things that like kind of like with the grandma, something that happened with the grandma, I kind of feel like that was kind of just a very just head snappy turny, what the heck. And I do feel like a couple of lines of dialogue could have made that better. And then the sister like becomes a graffiti expert out of nowhere, and then just does some graffiti, and it's like we have not seen her do any art up until that moment, I don't believe. So it was just like very subtle, just a couple things that was just like, oh, we're gonna do this because it'll be cool. And it's like, yeah, but at least kind of add a little bit of story behind it to where we get some build up to that, and not just boom, here it is, or boom, here it is. You know, just very whiplashy moments for me. Not the biggest Star Wars fan. I do, however, have what? Wait. I do, however, have watched some content I didn't mind. Oh, okay. I feel that. Oh, Blue Beetle was amazing in IMAX. Yeah, I saw it in IMAX as well, and it was definitely amazing. Originality, 10 out of 10. Creativity, 10 out of 10. Plot, 9 out of 10. Pacing and structure, 10 out of 10. Characters, 9 out of 10. Cinematography, 20 out of 10. Sound quality, 10 out of 10. Music score, 20 out of 10. Dialogue, 10 out of 10. Entertainment value, 100 out of 10. All right, Nighthawk. So you loved some Blue Beetle, bro. You was loving it. I really liked it as well. Not as much as you did, but I definitely did like it. It was really good. Nighthawk, LOL. I wish my English teacher in high school had been more like you. I feel that. Blue Beetle is Ant-Man, but better? I don't know about better. I don't know if it's better than Ant-Man, to be completely honest. I really like Ant-Man. Ant-Man's a really good movie. And I think that heist structure in Ant-Man is definitely, I think it definitely does a lot for the overall movie. More like Ant-Man is Blue Beetle, LOL. Nah. Marzu, thanks. Please don't compare it to Spy Kids. It's way better than that. It is better than Spy Kids, but it did feel like Spy Kids. Like, for all intents purposes, it definitely felt Spy Kids-y at certain times. And that's not a bad thing, because I think Spy Kids is awesome. Spy Kids is dope. Spy Kids 1, specifically, is freaking crazy dope. And this movie did kind of feel Spy Kids 1-ish at multiple times. Especially with, like, the whole just vibe of, like, the family, and then even George Lopez's character kind of felt like he was supposed to be kind of like Machete from Spy Kids, you know what I mean? Like, he kind of felt like that, like, very equal. And his character as well, definitely things out of nowhere with him, just like, hey, he's a scientist or whatever. I don't know. It just kind of felt like there was just things that we were missing out on that they didn't give us proper build up to certain things that just happened. And I was like, bro, what is this? But the parts that made me think of Spy Kids was, like I said, was George Lopez's character as the uncle. He definitely gave me those vibes. And I also believe that the whole suit that the bad guy had at the end definitely felt like something I've seen from Spy Kids as well. The way his head was just kind of floating there. I wasn't a fan of that either. So those things definitely felt Spy Kids-ish, for sure. Definitely my favorite Beetle-themed superhero since Big Bad Beetleborgs. Yo. Yo, that's crazy. I think they did a really good job with the Blue Beetle. His theme song was friggin' amazing. Like, definitely freaking amazing. Which superhero family was better? This one or Miss Marvel? I think I'm actually leaning towards Blue Beetle. I'm on the same page as you. I'm definitely leaning towards Blue Beetle as well. And this is another conversation that me and Remy had. I do like this family vibe that they had a lot more, But I think the reason I liked it more is because of the age that he was at, right? And he's coming home from college. They're obviously trying to protect him from these news and all that stuff, right? I mean, even that, right? Even down to that moment where the sister's like, "Oh, we lost the house. This happened. This happened. This happened. Dad had a heart." Like, even that is similar to the moment in Ant-Man when he's in the car and he's telling him, "Oh, yeah, and my dad died, but at least I got the van." You know what I mean? Like, those moments were mad. Like, there are mad similar plot beats to this movie, and it's actually insane. Like, after I read, I think it was the video actually, and the video was like, "Oh, I love movies about a person that gets da 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 da," and it just kind of went through all the similarities, and I was like, "Damn, this movie is hella similar to Ant-Man." And then right now, I'm just thinking of all the things, and like I said, that moment is literally like the other moment. It's very similar. So, but it's okay. It's okay. It's okay. It's not a bad thing. But the family vibes in that movie are 100 times way more, I guess, relatable, but they're also it just hits home a little bit more in that movie than it did in the show. But they definitely hit some of the similar vibes, but I think Blue Beetle family vibes are just way, way better. Speaking of Ant-Man, watched Quantumania again today, and I'm going to say something unpopular, but I am starting to love seeing MODOK. Yo, people was hating on some MODOK, and I understand why people hated on MODOK, you know what I mean? That's not what I expected either, but after watching that Hulu show that they did for MODOK, I was actually a lot more prepared for it. Like a lot more prepared for it than I thought I would be. I was like, "Oh, all right, cool. All right, then, bet." You know, that's just kind of how I was. I was like, "All right, this is basically what I kind of thought we were going to be getting, but a little bit different, you know?" I would give Ant-Man the rating you have for Blue Beetle. Oh, I don't know. I don't know about that. For you, I could see that. But for me, nah, I don't think so. Ant-Man hit a lot of things in that movie. Like, a lot of things. Ant-Man 1 is really, like, a really good movie, bro. I really like that movie, like, probably a lot. I like all those movies a lot, but, like, Ant-Man 1, yeah, that movie goes crazy. Like, I couldn't give originality an 8 from that movie. Definitely couldn't give that an 8. It would have to be higher than an 8 because, I mean, bro, shrinking, all of that shit, yeah, I would give that definitely, yeah, I would get a 9, maybe even a 9.5 for that originality of all the things that happened with the ants, period, and just how they were doing stuff. That was crazy dope. Crazy dope. I don't think I could give it the same rating at all. I think my rating for Ant-Man would probably be higher than most people's, though, because I really, 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 really like that movie. I think it would be higher than the majority of everyone's, to be completely honest. Really, I couldn't stand MODOK, but knowing his face, maybe I'd appreciate his arc more. Yo, knowing he's gonna die, you'd like him more is crazy. Marisu, that is diabolical. No cap. I'm serious, starting to love watching his scenes. I mean, even on the MODOK series, he was silly in his actions and dialogue. Yeah, exactly. So that's why I was okay, because it was kind of, they almost got everyone ready for the vibes with the show. You know what I mean? It was like, okay, this is how MODOK, this is kind of, I mean, and for all, like, to be completely honest, like, that is how MODOK is. There's a reason why they portray him that way, and it's because that's how bruh is at the core. Like, he be set tripping. MODOK be tripping. More the show I'm talking about, not really in Quantumania. That's not really how MODOK is. They kind of took MODOK and then mixed him with the thing about Marvel, right? And what gives me a lot of issues is all of Marvel is kind of like a what if, you know? It's like Marvel is, what if Marvel was built off of the back of Iron Man? Like, that's what the MCU is right now. It's a big giant what if, right? And then when you look at characters like MODOK, it's like Marvel just looks at MODOK and says, "What if we made this character MODOK? What would that look like? Like, what would this character look like as MODOK? Instead of, how do we make this character MODOK?" If that makes sense, right? Like, that kind of seems like the take that they went for when it comes to that, right? And just all of the MCU. Like, what if Ultron was made by Tony Stark and Bruce Banner instead of Ant-Man? Like, that would be what we got then, right? Like, that's kind of how once I started to look at things like that, I was like, yes. Like, yes, you know what I mean? That was a big just, yes, all right, for sure, I'm here. Like, let's get it. And that's how everything happens. What if Ant-Man, you know, like, what if Ant-Man was Ant-Man's mentor? Like, I don't know how else to say that, but what, like, that's just what if. Everything is just a bunch of what ifs. What if Loki was this way? What if Thor was that? What if this was that? You know? And once you just, it's like being mad at what if stories. There's just no reason to be mad at what if stories, because it's like, it's a what if. It's like, this is what would happen in this universe. And when you start looking at things a little more like that, because that's basically how stories are created, right? A story is, hey, what if we take this character and do this with them? Hey, what if with Spider-Man, instead of him having Uncle Ben die for the 30th time, it's Aunt May that is his Uncle Ben at this moment, right? And what if we take 3 movies to tell that origin story instead of just getting it out in one long story in one movie? How about we just tell multiple stories about this Spider-Man so people can get to know Peter Parker more? So once we get to full-blown Spider-Man, he's more of he's an adult, and we've actually seen him grow up, and we actually have a little bit more context as to why he makes these decisions. It's all a lot of what ifs. I'm okay with that. Humor is very personal, and people either get it or they don't. I think that's why Ant-Man is either perfect or terrible, depending on who you ask. I could feel that. That makes a lot of sense, because the humor in Ant-Man is definitely, I mean, Marvel's humor in general is just very different. It's something that not a lot of people will like, or a lot of people will like. That's a big fact, because they lean on a certain type of humor that is not everyone's forte. Well, makes sense. He was MODOK because he was shrunk down in the first movie. Yeah. I think they did a really good. I think they did not the best, but I think they did a good job with making. No, I think they did the best job at making him MODOK. You know what I'm saying? Making him MODOK, they did a very good job. If they were going to choose someone in the MCU to make MODOK, I think they made a good choice with him, but I think they would have made a better choice with Hammer, but it would have been too much crossover to make Hammer MODOK, you know? Like, that's just too much. The other Marvel movies have humor, but they don't rely on it first. Yeah, exactly. I think that's a good point. I think Ant-Man movies are kind of titled as comedies, where other movies just have hints of comedy in it. I think that's a good take. Even when he was revealed to be in the movie, I knew or felt it was going to be Darren Cross. Yeah, that's a good point. It makes sense. Last thing to discuss before shifting gears, do we think James Gunn keeps his promise and Blue Beetle is a part of the new DCU? Honestly, I'm going to give a hard yes here. And I'm going to give a hard yes because the movie feels like it should be. Okay. I'm going to take my hard yes back. I'm going to give it a hard. That's more probable. Yeah. My vote on it is it's a hard probability. There we go. It's not a hard yes, but it's a hard probability. And there's multiple reasons for that, right? The reason why I think yes for Blue Beetle staying in the DCU is because Blue Beetle is a really good movie. It's actually the best DC movie that has came out in a really long time. Like a really long time in my opinion. And for me, it's a DCU movie that I don't think I need to watch again in order to actually like it, because that's what has been kind of a reoccurrence for me when it comes to DC movies. Is, you know, like I had to watch Man of Steel. Like I liked Man of Steel the first time, but I had a lot of issues with it like on my first watch. But then like I watched it again and I was like, damn, this movie is dope. And then I watched it again and then I was like, damn, this movie is dope. And then I watched it again and I was like, damn, this movie is dope. You know, and I think that was really just me getting older and being able to see and appreciate more things within that movie. As to where movies like Blue Beetle and movies like, I mean, even Batman v Superman, right? I still am not a big fan of that movie. It's not like, it doesn't matter how many watches I have of it. I just don't like that movie. I can appreciate the things that they did with it, but I don't like that movie. And I don't like Justice League either. And I like Zack Snyder's Justice League a lot more. I like Shazam. I'm not a big fan of Wonder Woman. You know what I mean? Like, I'm actually not a fan of Wonder Woman. I'm even less of a fan of Wonder Woman 84. I don't think those movies are great. Like I don't like Aquaman at all. I know that movie like went crazy with the box office, but I just don't like that movie. Shazam 2, it was all right, but it was like, you know, Black Adam was actually a really good movie as well. But you know, like all of those movies just kind of felt just like, damn. It was almost like they were trying, I don't know, man. It was like they was trying to do something so hard that it just never hit. The Suicide Squad's dope, though. I'm not going to lie. I really do like the Suicide Squad. Peacemaker is also pretty dope. So it's like the stuff that I like the most, I know that they were never going to capitalize on it ever. So these like Blue Beetle though, it capitalized on being able to actually stand alone, right? It capitalized on the entire universe already existing. Like Blue Beetle showed the DCU the best way that I think we've seen the DCU. It's so sad, but really, yo, like the Suicide Squad, I guess even kind of the first Suicide Squad movie too. Well, yeah, okay, I'll give it to the first Suicide Squad. The first Suicide Squad, the Suicide Squad, Peacemaker, Black Adam, and Blue Beetle, they all made the DC universe feel as if it was a DC universe. Like, it felt like the universe was lived in. As to where, like, with Batman, it didn't feel like Batman existed in the universe. You know what I'm saying? Like, it didn't feel like when you saw Batman v Superman, for me, it didn't feel like Batman existed in that universe when I was watching Man of Steel. When I watched Wonder Woman, it didn't feel like Batman and Superman existed in that universe that we're watching her do shit in. You know what I'm saying? Like, Shazam as well. Shazam actually did feel that way, you know? These other movies, they actually capitalized on it being a universe. But for all the other movies, it felt like we were just making a bunch of standalones and then just deciding to put them together. It didn't feel like it was the goal from the jump to have Man of Steel lead into Batman v Superman, and then that lead into Justice League, and then that lead into Wonder Woman, and then that. It didn't feel predetermined. It felt forced and rushed. And then when you get projects like Suicide Squad, it makes the world, that first Suicide Squad made the world feel lived in, because they talk about this person got caught by Superman, or this person got caught by Batman, or this person got caught, you know what I mean? Like, they use these superhero names and they make the world feel like it's actually a universe that all these characters are existing in, rather than them all existing separately. And then when you get like Shazam, they're talking about Superman the whole time, and you're like waiting to see Henry Cavill, and you never see his face, you know? Like, and then like all of a sudden though, then you got Batman just looking at all these heroes, but they don't exist as heroes. They exist as their natural selves, and Batman is the one to bring them into being the hero. You know, like now you're a hero because like now the Flash is the Flash because of Batman. Now Wonder Woman is Wonder Woman because of Batman. Now Cyborg is Cyborg because of Batman. Like, and it's like these characters existed in the universe, but they weren't superheroes yet. And I feel like that's what hurt it. Is you're giving hella origins to characters that aren't even mentioned yet or aren't known about. Like, once again, it's one thing if you're like watching a movie and then like in the background on the news you see something about a woman saved in Central City, lightning showed or something. I don't know, man. It just didn't feel right. It didn't feel right. But Blue Beetle felt like watching that movie when they mention shit. They talk about shit. And when they mention it, it makes it feel like, oh, hey, they're talking about Superman. They're talking about Batman. No matter how they're talking about him, in a world where Batman exists, do we really think that no one would think he's a fascist? Yes! Hella people would probably think Batman is a fascist because people think whatever they want to in the real world. Right? So hearing George Lopez's character say Batman's a fascist, it's hilarious for multiple reasons, because it's either funny because you don't think he's a fascist and you're like, bro, he's not a fascist. This dude's tripping. And it makes his character, you know, it solidifies his character as that. Or it's like, oh shit, this character feels this way about Batman because of what they've seen him do in this universe. So that means Batman has existed and has been doing shit for a while, right? And then there's even a moment, light spoilers, but there's even a moment where he says Metropolis has Superman, Gotham has Batman. Where are they? Are they in Palmyra? I think Palmyra has Blue Beetle. Like, I loved that because it's like, bro, that means people just know this shit in the universe. Like, people know this, bro. That shit feels dope to know that there's connectivity to something else, you know? And you're not just getting things like, oh, Superman. I'm just not a fan of this character has existed, but not as a superhero ever until right now. You know, like they did. Okay. Iron Man does this with Spider-Man, right? But when we look at it, it's from a YouTube video that someone else has recorded of Spider-Man being Spider-Man in the world. He's already existing as Spider-Man. Like, Tony doesn't come in and make him Spider-Man. He's already doing shit as a friendly neighborhood spider. But Tony needs help. So we go and he's looking. Like, it's like the same thing, but it's on one instance not done the best, and then on the other instance it is done pretty damn well. You know, like, maybe if it was just for one of the characters, I don't know. It just didn't feel. It didn't. But that is because in the MCU up until that point, everything feels just natural almost to the characters. Oh yeah, they would do that. Oh yeah, that would happen. Oh yeah, the Sokovia Accords would happen if this happened because they're just going around the world doing everything the hell. Yeah, I could see that happening. Like, I don't know. But I said all that to say, it feels like the DCU that James Gunn is going for. We know James Gunn is going for a universe where all these characters are already pre-established. We're not going to have to go through 7 origin stories. We're not going to have 7 movies of origin stories before we can get to something, because all these characters are going to exist. It's very similar to when we get into Young Justice, right? When we jump into Young Justice, guess what? All these superheroes exist. They've actually existed for so long that they have sidekicks. Like, that is how long they've been existing, that they're like, all right, it's time to have a sidekick. And now the sidekick is like, all right, I've been doing this for years with you. I've been doing this for 2 years with you. I've been doing this for 5 years with you. I've been doing this for years with you, and I'm ready to grow up now. And then we get thrown into the universe. We know that the Hall of Justice is established. We know that superheroes here. We know that Superman's here. We know that Batman, Green Lantern, all of these characters exist in the universe. And guess what? When you watch Young Justice, when you watch Teen Titans, when you watch all these movies, you don't need to know Superman's backstory. You don't need to know that he is the last Kryptonian because you know that shit already. You don't need to know that Batman, his parents died. You don't need to see that shit because you know it. It's inherently ingrained in all of us to know that. If we know who Batman is, you know that his parents died. If you know who Spider-Man is, you know that Uncle Ben not sacrifices himself, but Uncle Ben dies. You know these things if you know about these characters. So it's not a surprise when it happens. That's why it's like, how are they going to do it, right? So when we get to this point where it's like people are just talking about Superman and people are just talking about Batman, we're not going to have to see the entire thing. All we need to do is hear someone say, it's literally just a conversation of, I know your parents died, or da-da-da-da-da, or this is the anniversary of my parents' death, or something like that. Superman saying, when I came down in the spaceship, people talk about shit that happened in their lives that paved them to be who they are. So it's not outside of the realm of possibility to get a little conversation like that. Like, you know what I'm saying? So I said all that to say, I do think that James Gunn will keep it into his universe, but it's a possibility that he doesn't because the movie is so good and they might want to go with it being an Elseworlds thing like Batman. Like the Batman and like Joker. I think that's also very possible. I think at this point it's up to either James Gunn and the writer. And the director of the movie. It's up to them as to what they want to do. Whatever they want to do, let it happen. Let it be done. Some stories change because they don't have some characters like Spider-Man, Fantastic Four, and X-Men. Exactly. Has the new DCU started yet? And if not, what's the first movie? Okay, so this is why people are confused because James Gunn said that Blue Beetle will be the first character of the DC universe, but Superman Legacy will be the first movie of the DCU. So that means we will have Blue Beetle in the DC universe, but it's possible that his movie is not canon. But most likely it will be canon. But who knows? This is going to be the Incredible Hulk of the DCU. Nobody is going to know it's connected to the universe until you're really in the know. Hey, I actually think that is the best way that you can make that. Yes, that's almost a perfect comparison. It's just the only thing that we might see is the same character transfer over to be Blue Beetle, but we actually have some swap outs for people like Victoria Cord. Since she wasn't the best, we might keep the sister. We might not see the grandma as much. We might not see the grandma. We might not see the mom because we might have something like they move away from Palmyra for a little while to do something in another city. You know what I mean? Like they might do something like that. So they kind of move away from that whole super heavily rooted family vibe that they went for in the first one. But that's why I also say it's very possible that they don't do that because that super heavily family rooted vibe is something that made this movie even better, right? It made this movie even better with the whole family vibe that it was giving. So, but you're right. It's very possible that Blue Beetle is the Incredible Hulk of the DCU to where it is canon. And they do talk about things. And, we got General Thunderbolt Ross. That's the same character that crosses over. But other than that, no one else is the same. You know what I mean? So that's very possible. Didn't feel organic. Yeah, that's very true. The universe didn't expand organically. It was a very forced expanse. All the way to The Flash. And it's kind of sad because the world expanded way better in Arrowverse, right? Like, the way characters are introduced in the Arrowverse is freaking crazy. It's crazy the way the characters are introduced in the Arrowverse. And it's crazy that they actually did it better. Like, having Barry Allen be introduced, and then after Barry Allen is introduced, we go and we see that he gets struck by lightning, and that's the start of his origin story, and then we watch him become the Flash. Like, you know what I'm saying? That is crazy dope. Like, the MCU I don't know, the MCU probably took some hints from the Arrowverse. Or vice versa. I don't know which one started first. I'm not even going to pretend like I know. I feel like this movie needs to do really well on streaming to justify keeping it around. Like I said, great movie, but we all know dollar signs rule the day. I want to say that dollar signs do rule the day, but at the same time, maybe they don't. Because The Suicide Squad is the first movie that James Gunn did, and it did not do wonderful in like when it comes to the dollars, right? But they kept him around and let him spin off into Peacekeeper. And then I don't know how, we don't know streaming numbers. They keep streaming numbers under wraps. And I think that's one of the reasons why we have this, the strike going on is because of how under wraps these numbers are. But still, I'm pretty sure that shit spoke enough for them to give it to him, you know? And then this movie was actually supposed to be a streaming movie at first. Blue Beetle was originally supposed to go straight to streaming on HBO Max, but then Zaslav came through and he was like, nah, let's make this a theatrical release and then let's actually cancel Batgirls, which is sad. But after seeing some of the stuff that we saw from Batgirl, we know that was going to be real spicy. We know that they made the right decision. Because it's a long time till Superman. It's really not, though. It seems like it's a long time till Superman, but it's not. Like, we're going to blink, and Superman's going to be here. If it comes out in 2025, if it sticks to its release date, Superman will be here in no time. Like think about how we were talking about Blue Beetle. So think about how long ago it feels like we were talking about Blue Beetle, right? That felt like we were literally just saying like Blue Beetle's gonna come out in like 6 months. Blue Beetle's gonna come out in 3 months. It's here, right? Next, we're gonna talk about Aquaman's gonna come out soon. Well, the Marvels, of course, but Aquaman. We're gonna be like, oh, Aquaman's on its way. Let's just stick to DC. We're gonna be like, Aquaman's on its way. Then Aquaman's gonna be here, and then we're gonna be like, oh man, all right, Aquaman was trash. The next movie that we got is Batman. I think it's the Batman, or maybe it's Joker. No, I think it's the Batman. The next movie that we got is the Batman 2. Well, the Batman 2's here. That shit was awesome, dope. All right, Joker, follow you do. That shit was awesome. All right. Oh wow, Superman Legacy already? That's basically what's happening. Like, and then we have all these other shows happening at the same time. It's not that long till Superman. That's why they're crunching all this shit out so fast. The movie is supposed to come out in 2 years. That's not a long time. That is not a long time at all. Especially when it takes like 6 months to do this, 6 months to do that, 6 months to do this. The next thing we're going to know, Superman's going to be here. Like, that gives them a year to shoot. And all of the, of course, with the strikes and stuff along the lines of that, we're probably not going to see that occur too soon. You know, like, we're probably not going to see that movie. If the strikes continue on the way they are, then we won't see that movie for a long time. But if they don't continue the way they are, then we're going to see that movie in 2 years. And that might seem like a long time, but 2 years is nothing right now. 2 years is the new year. That's how the world works now. 2 years is the new year. A year is really 6 months. 6 months is really 3 months. That's just how time has been moving now, you know? But I really did enjoy Blue Beetle. I thought it was a fantastic movie. I think they accomplished. Whenever a movie accomplishes everything that it set out to, I feel like it's a really good movie, and that's what I think happened here. I think every single thing that they set out to accomplish with this movie was accomplished. Like, for real, for real. I have no idea what this is, so I'm just going to press it. What is up, Super Fam?
How's it going, everyone?
Welcome to Marvel Bros, where we discuss all things Marvel and everything pop culture.
We started Marvel Bros back in 2019 because we have a love for not only Marvel movies and comics, but because we wanted to have a place where people could stay up to date with all pop culture news.
Here, you will have access to all of our content, whether it be trailer reaction. You look like He-Man.
Oh!
And most importantly, controllable.
Go!
Character breakdowns. Welcome to Marvel Bros Breakdown.
Welcome to Marvel Bros Breakdown, where we dive deeper into characters and theorize about the latest films.
Pop culture news updates. On today's pop culture news update.
Today's pop culture news update.
Or movie reviews.
We love to have open discussions here on the channel, so feel free to join us when we go live.
Battle Cove, I like that Kang's motives are understandable in the same way Thanos' motives were. That's exactly what we're saying.
That was pretty
as
awesome.
well.
Or jump in the comment section of a trailer reaction or breakdowns so we can theorize, converse, and nerd out.
Follow us on social media at Marvel Bros to stay up to date with the latest news, rumors, content, and more.
You can also join our Discord, where we are constantly having conversations pertaining to Marvel, DC, Star Wars, anime, and everything pop culture.
All of our past pop culture news updates are available wherever you listen to podcasts at.
If you guys would like to support Marvel Bros, all you gotta do is visit our website at www.marvelbros.com and buy some merch. Represent the superfan.
To get early access to content, patron-only scoops, giveaways, private Q&As, and those sacred watch parties. All right, yo, I didn't know what that button did, but I like that one. That's one of my favorite ones. I ain't gonna lie. So we probably gonna use that a lot more. A couple things in there have changed, of course. Ain't no Patreon, but we got the Brovengers memberships now. The website, you probably that I don't know when that's gonna be coming back. There wasn't a lot of traction on that, so we'll probably be creating something new. But I like that little ad right there. That's a little dope one for real, for real. I like that a lot. That was dope. You guys are so hyped for Halo. Yo, don't do us like that. Don't do us like that. Yo, Marcel. Don't do us like that, please. We were mad pumped for that. We were very pumped. And they straight up owed us. Talk about how not to make a video game into a movie. That's it, right? Or a show. That's it right there. That is a prime example of what not to do with a video game into movie adaptation. Like, literally, that shit was trash. We were furious. And it just got worse, yo. And it just got worse. Like, it was just unbelievable how bad that was. Yeah, that was not the best. I'm telling you, trailers lie. Yo, well, Blue Beetle didn't lie to us. Blue Beetle didn't lie to us, Marisu. You thought Blue Beetle was going to be a lie. Blue Beetle was not a lie. The Flash was a lie, but Blue Beetle was not a lie. Alrighty, y'all. So, we've been talking about DC stuff, but now we're going to talk about Ahsoka. And I'm hyped for Ahsoka. Because Ahsoka is coming out soon. You know what? I stand corrected. Hey, I'm just saying. I'm just saying. You definitely thought we were being lied to from Blue Beetle, and that shit was actually Blue Beetle was actually way better than I think any of us thought it would be. Like way better than any of us thought it would be. But I will say we've got lied to from Kenobi's trailer. We got lied to from what's bruh's name? Bruh. Boba Fett. Poor Boba Fett. That show was so his show should have been so awesome that I'm thinking about it, you know? Not the one that I'm trying to forget. Cuz I'm definitely trying to forget that shit. Oh, wait, what is the title for this stream right now? Wait, how did it change to Let's Get Ready for Ahsoka? What the what? The title name changed. When did that happen? What's going on here? What the fuck? The whole thing changed. What? Yo, what's happening? My whole title changed. How is that even possible? I am so confused. My title changed to Let's Get Ready for It. So I don't even know. What? I don't know how that happened. Blue Beetle review. Ahsoka tomorrow. What the hell? Thor 5. Daredevil. And Nova. What the hell? I am so confused as to how my entire stream title changed. And my whole shit changed. Bro, what? I am actually so confused. It's insane how confused I am right now. I'm a little perturbed. I'm a little pissed. But I'm just mainly just kind of furious. Yeah, but it's what the what? Yeah, let's get ready for Ahsoka. Why does it say let's get ready for Ahsoka? I am so confused. My bad, y'all. I gotta just change all this shit back because for some reason my entire stream just decided to change names. Hashtag Ahsoka. And then So weird. The title changed right when you went live, I think? Oh, that's mad weird, yo. I had no idea. Yeah, that was mad weird. All right. It's time to talk about Ahsoka. Remember when we thought Hulk was in Endgame from the trailer? Yeah. And in Infinity War, I think that was. We thought he was going to be in Infinity War, but he was not. Alas, he was not. All right, I'm trying to figure out which one do we watch. Do we watch something about Rebels or something about Ahsoka? Yeah, let's watch everything you need to know before watching Ahsoka. I don't know if we watched this one particularly already, but we about to get ready. And like I said, make sure y'all tune in tomorrow at 5:30 p.m. PST so we can have the Ahsoka watch party. Okay? So tomorrow at 5:30 p.m. PST, we will be watching Ahsoka. And you might be thinking, did he just say? Whoa! Did he just say 5:30 p.m. PST? That might be what you're thinking. You might be thinking, did he just say 5:30 p.m. PST? I sure did say 5:30 p.m. PST. And you know why I said 5:30 p.m. PST? Huh? That's because that's the new time. The new time for Ahsoka is 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. That's what time it will be on Disney Plus for the foreseeable future. They're trying something new out, which is a 6 p.m. release, 9 p.m. EST, I believe that means for you guys, for a lot of you guys that are EST. I can't do all the revisions, but just know for a lot of you guys that means that Ahsoka will be coming out at 9 p.m. EST, 6 p.m. PST. 9 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Western. There we go. And I hope everybody is hyped and excited about that because I am hyped and excited about that, yo. Like, extremely hyped and excited about it, bro. Like, I think that having that time will cause it to get more viewership, generate more discussion and conversation around the movie as well. Around the show as well. I think it's just a big W, yo. So make sure you guys are here once again tomorrow, 5:30 Western, 8:30 Eastern, so we can give all of our thoughts, theories, and opinions on Ahsoka before the actual show. All right. So I can't wait to see all of y'all there tomorrow. For real, for real. Now, let's see and talk about everything we need to know from Ahsoka. Let's see and talk about everything we need to know before Ahsoka.
The Ahsoka series is right around the corner. To prepare, here's everything you need to know about the story. First and foremost, it'll be premiering in the midst of 2 Hollywood strikes. The Writers Guild of America and the Screen Actors Guild are both striking against the Alliance of Motion Picture and Television Producers, companies like Disney, Amazon, Netflix, and more. Streaming is at the heart of both strikes as the guilds seek fair compensation for their work on Disney+, Netflix, Amazon Prime, and so on. Basically, the producers aren't being transparent with their streaming numbers and are not paying writers or actors in the same way they would for their work on network television. Ahsoka star Rosario Dawson is among those striking against Disney and the rest of the AMPTP. Ahsoka would not exist without the hard work of the writers and actors who created not only it, but also Disney Plus exclusives like The Mandalorian, The Book of Boba Fett, or other series featured on the service like The Clone Wars and Star Wars Rebels. I'll put a link in the cards to our video going into more details surrounding the strike and the gross behavior from studio heads, including Bob Iger, the CEO of Disney. But moving into Star Wars stuff, let's set the stage for Ahsoka in the universe. The series takes place around the same point in the timeline as The Mandalorian and The Book of Boba Fett, about 5 years after the Battle of Endor and the events of Return of the Jedi. The New Republic is in control of the galaxy, but the Imperial Remnant is experiencing a resurgence as one of their leaders returns to the galaxy. Grand Admiral Thrawn was a brilliant military tactician who rose to prominence in Star Wars Rebels. He was first created by Timothy Zahn for the book Heir to the Empire way back in 1991. His inclusion in the animated Rebels series was a big deal in 2016, and now his appearance in live action is once again a very big deal to longtime Star Wars fans. In Rebels, he was a major villain for the growing Rebel Alliance, but was removed from the war thanks to the actions of a young Jedi Padawan named Ezra Bridger. He was able to summon several massive spacefaring whale-like creatures called Purrgil to attack Thrawn's fleet and use their natural ability to access hyperspace to take him to some unknown part of the galaxy. But Ezra was taken along with the Grand Admiral. That's where Ahsoka comes in. This character has already appeared in live action twice, but she's still shrouded in mystery for any Star Wars fan who hasn't watched any of the animated series. Ahsoka was the Padawan of Anakin Skywalker during the Clone Wars, but she left the Order before her training was complete. She survived the Jedi Purge and began helping rebel cells under the codename Fulcrum. We last saw her in a mysterious place called the World Between Worlds, a realm that existed outside of time and space. There, Ezra was able to rescue her from a duel with Darth Vader, who she knew to be her former master. When she returned to her own time, she promised to find Ezra, not knowing what that mission would actually mean. The epilogue of Star Wars Rebels shows her ready to begin the search alongside Sabine Wren. Sabine was a Mandalorian member of Ezra's rebel cell. The two had a close friendship, and the young man also made it clear he was counting on Sabine to come find him. She once wielded the Darksaber and was the character who gifted it to Bo-Katan, which was alluded to in The Mandalorian and the Book of Boba Fett. She also helped the Mandalorians rise up against the Empire, which resulted in the Great Purge. We don't currently know how she has handled the near destruction of her people. I imagine we'll get those answers as she and Ahsoka search for Ezra. The knowledge that Ahsoka trained Sabine in some capacity is new to the series. I think it's unlikely Sabine is Force sensitive. She was probably just continuing her lightsaber training because Ezra gifted her his weapon before disappearing, but we'll have to wait and see. Also joining the quest is Hera Syndulla, who was the leader of the Ghost Crew in Star Wars Rebels. She rose through the ranks of the Rebel Alliance to become a general, serving at the battles of Scarif, Endor, and beyond. She had a son named Jason with a former Jedi named Kanan Jarrus, who died during the events of Rebels. She also had a droid named Chopper, an astromech she rescued from a downed Y-Wing during the Clone Wars when she was just a child. He's cranky and violent and probably has the highest kill count in Star Wars Rebels. Seriously, his body count is in the thousands.
This is a metabolism killer. This is a metabolism killer. And even
The final member of the team is Professor Huyang, another droid seen in a handful of shots from the trailers. He is actually around 25,000 years old, having been created during the dawn of the Jedi. He helped younglings construct their first lightsabers and had a catalog of nearly every lightsaber ever built in his databank. The crew will likely be traveling the galaxy for at least part of the adventure in Hera's ship, the Ghost. It was the home to her crew in Star Wars Rebels and can be seen at the Battle of Scarif in Rogue One and the Battle of Exegol in The Rise of Skywalker. On the opposite side of the fight, we have Morgan Elsbeth, a character that first appeared in The Mandalorian. She dueled Ahsoka, who demanded to know where her master, Grand Admiral Thrawn, was. So Elsbeth works for Thrawn, but it would appear she doesn't know where he is, so we might be seeing a bit of a race to find both Ezra and Thrawn. We see Elsbeth accessing a star map of some kind, and while it's not yet confirmed, I believe she is using Night Sister magic to do so, an aspect of the Force associated with the dark side. Joining her hunt are Baylan Skoll and Shin Hati. Baylan is described as a former Jedi who survived the Purge and became a Force-sensitive mercenary during the reign of the Empire. We don't yet know why he is interested in finding Thrawn, but it has something to do with a desire for power. Under his wing is his apprentice, Shin. She is one of the more mysterious characters we've been introduced to in the trailers so far, and we know
it looked like everybody is about to be on Demon Time. When we last saw
Elsbeth, she was captured by Ahsoka. I think it's likely Baylan and Shin will be breaking her out of a New Republic transport, an attack we have seen in the trailers. Yet another Force-sensitive works alongside Morgan Elsbeth, a former Inquisitor named Marok. That name and their face is currently unknown, leading fans to question if it's someone we've already met. Their armor matches that of the Eighth Brother, a Jedi hunting character that also appeared in Star Wars Rebels, but we have no way to confirm that for now. Behind the camera, Writers Guild of America member Dave Filoni has written all 8 episodes of the season. Dave is well known as one of the producers of The Mandalorian and the surrounding series of that era, but he also has a strong connection to Ahsoka. He created the character alongside George Lucas for the Clone Wars animated series. Filoni was one of the creators of Star Wars Rebels, as well as an executive producer, writer, and director on that series. So all of these characters are near and dear to his heart. He will be directing some episodes of Ahsoka along with Steph Green, Peter Ramsey, Jennifer Getzinger, Geeta Patel, and Rick Famuyiwa. The music will be composed by Kevin Kiner, who wrote fantastic scores for the Clone Wars and Star Wars Rebels, so Ahsoka should feel very consistent in that regard. As usual, there are also some leaks and rumors we can dive into. I try to stay away from that stuff as much as possible personally, but the nature of the job is that a lot of it winds up being sent to me whether I want it or not. Everything I've talked about so far is from officially released trailers or other marketing, but I'm about to discuss one rumor here at the end that I would consider being from a reputable source, The Hollywood Reporter. If you want to go into the series without that knowledge, this is your warning. Almost 2 years, the series is right around the corner. To prepare, here's...
Alright, so we'll get into that on the second watch through. Now, I just needed to absorb all that information. I needed to absorb all that information and get it in. Now, we can actually go through it and talk about the different things. Because that's all crazy shit. I knew some of it, didn't know all of it. So, there was someone a few years back that tried to sue creators for false advertising in trailers, which is actually interesting philosophically. Good God. Actually, someone did sue and won recently. We talked about that on the show not too long ago. I think it happened this year. They sued because they watched a trailer and Ana de Armas was supposed to be in the movie, I believe, and then she wasn't in the movie. So she sued. So they sued because they had watched the movie only on the premise of her being in the movie, and she wasn't, and they won. So yeah, that happened. Are you planning to do Wheel of Time? 3 episodes in one stream will be a lot to manage. Wait. What do you mean? Wait. Oh, it is a 3-episode premiere, huh? Bro, I'm watching all 3 episodes at that time. That is not a lot to manage at all. I'm watching them and talking about them all at the same time. No worries. No worries. We own that. I miss seeing movie and TV content, but as a person who creates and writes content, though it is for myself, I do understand writers because I am rooting for them. Yeah, I definitely am rooting for the writers because, I'm rooting for the writers. I think it's kind of wild that people are kind of hating on writers right now. People have been hating on writing for a lot of shit that's been going on for a while now, but to me, it's like if people are not having to worry about where they're going to live, whether they can feed their families, whether if they got to take another job up to do something, that's when the best content is made. And also in the struggle of trying to get that, hoping, you know what I'm saying? Like hoping that people will be able to incorporate all that, but it's not, it's not all the way there. So, hopefully, I hope that this strike does come to an end with the writers and the WGA and SAG both doing everything that they can, to make it happen. Can't wait for Ahsoka and hope to get flashbacks tomorrow of Ahsoka and Anakin with hopefully McGregor's Kenobi during the Clone Wars. That actually would be super fire, Lewis. Ahsoka is hands down the best animated alien translated to live action. The makeup is so good. Yeah, they definitely went crazy with that. Ahsoka and then all of the Twi'leks. I believe they're called Twi'leks, which is the other tentacle-having alien race. Those always are wonderfully translated. Other bro too. I can't think of his name. Yeah, the Twi'leks. What is Wheel of Time? Wheel of Time is an amazing show. We'll talk about that more. A week last Tuesday. So stay tuned. Alt. Wheel of Time is assigned viewing. Yeah, facts. Hope to get the Acolyte, Echo, and Madam Web trailers this month. That actually would be dope. Doubt it. I got to get ready for bed, but I will definitely be there for the watch party tomorrow and the other watch parties this week. Yeah, we definitely got some other watch parties going on. Yeah, and again, that is we got the Ahsoka watch party tomorrow, and then we'll check out Wheel of Time Origins on Wednesday and Adam Eve on Thursday. So make sure y'all get ready for that. And good night, Andre. Definitely appreciate you, G. I hope you have a good rest of your night. Get you some good rest. Get you some good sleep. And I hope to see you tomorrow and the rest of the week. Night, Andre. None of that, please, Mama Pam. Yo, that's hilarious. Hope to get Loki back in Thor 5. I don't know about that. What service is Wheel of Time on? Netflix? Prime Video. Wheel of Time is on Prime Video. So the watch party that we'll be doing for Wheel of Time this week is for Origins, which is the animated version of it, and there's like 8 episodes I think of it animated as well, so we're gonna just be checking out all those animated Origins for Wheel of Time, and then we're gonna just be getting ready for Wheel of Time over the next course of these next couple of weeks, doing rewatches, not full-blown rewatches, but doing like recaps and other videos like that just to check it out and get a little bit more prepared. I hope to get Daredevil and Spidey versus Kingpin, Penn, and Ben Poindexter and Born Again. Ooh. Wheel of Time is on Amazon Prime. Yes, ma'am. All right. Let's get deeper into this, right? Let's get it going.
The Ahsoka series is right around the corner. To prepare, here's everything you need to know about the story. First and foremost, it'll be premiering in the midst of 2 also Disney Plus exclusive other series details surrounding Star Wars stuff. Let's set the stage for Ahsoka in the universe. The series takes place around the same point in the timeline as The Mandalorian and the Book of Boba Fett, about 5 years after the Battle of Endor and the events of Return of the Jedi. The New Republic is in control of the galaxy, but the Imperial Remnant is experiencing a resurgence as one of their leaders returns to the galaxy. Grand Admiral Thrawn was a brilliant military tactician who rose to prominence in Star Wars Rebels. He was first created by Timothy Zahn for the book Heir to the Empire Empire way back in 1991. His inclusion in the animated Rebels series was a big deal in 2016, and now his appearance in live action is once again a very big deal to longtime Star Wars fans.
Yeah,
In
that's
Rebels, he
facts.
was a major villain for the growing Rebel Alliance.
I think this is dope as hell as well, because we're going to get not we're going to get, but this is dope as hell because we got another little hint to him in The Mandalorian. You know what I mean? It was like they were talking about whispers of Thrawn already. So it's just dope to see that the buildup is starting to happen, and some of that interconnectivity that we've never really got to see from Star Wars, as in the form of, you know, one thing leading to another. They just kind of talk about everything, right? They talk about everything, but we don't see a lot of crossover to other things. But that's mainly because everything in Star Wars we've known about up until where we're at now with, like, The Mandalorian, even the Book of Boba Fett a little bit, and of course Ahsoka. That's giving us all new information that we didn't know about before. But now it's just giving a lot more context to things that have already happened and what's going to happen
But
next.
was removed from the war thanks to the actions of a young Jedi Padawan named Ezra Bridger. He was able to summon several massive spacefaring whale-like creatures called Purrgil.
I mean, even down to the Purrgil,
to attack Thrawn's
right?
fleet and use their natural ability.
Even down to the Purrgil, yo.
To take him to
even
some
these
unknown
things
part of
were
the
in the
galaxy.
Mandalorian.
Ezra was taken along
Like
with
just mad build up, mad build up,
Want to create professional videos with a limited budget?
hella build
Head
up.
over to everyone.ai.
It's kind of insane how
The
much
AI
build up
video platform-
there is, right? Like it's kind of insane how much build up there's been.
Twice, but she's still shrouded
To
in
it.
mystery for any Star Wars fan who hasn't
But
watched
we about to
any
get
of
it
the
going,
animated
yo.
series. Ahsoka was the Padawan of Anakin Skywalker during the Clone Wars, but she left the Order before her training was complete. She survived the Jedi Purge and began helping rebel cells under the code
this
name
is actually
Fulcrum. We
another
last saw
time when
her
it
in a
happened, when we
mysterious
saw
place
that type
called
of
the World
crossover.
Between Worlds, a realm that existed outside of time and
This
space.
was also lit.
There, Ezra was able to rescue her from a duel with
We
Darth
know that we're
Vader,
gonna
who
see a
she
World
knew to
Between
be
Worlds
her
be
former
introduced
master.
again,
When
but
she
we don't know
returned to
what
her own
type of
time,
way
she
we're gonna
promised to
see it.
find Ezra, not knowing what that mission would actually mean. The epilogue of Star Wars Rebels shows her ready to begin the search alongside Sabine Wren. Sabine was a Mandalorian member of Ezra's rebel cell. The two had a close friendship, and the young man...
Kind of crazy we didn't get to hear more about Sabine within The Mandalorian, right? Like, it kind of felt like they should have dropped her name somewhere, you know? I mean, they already talked about, they were talking so much about her being gifted the blade, but it's like, we already saw that happen one time, so why is it not okay now, I guess? But I guess it's because it's happened twice, and that's not good.
Man also made it clear he was counting on Sabine to come find him. She once wielded the Darksaber and was the character who gifted it to Bo-Katan, which was alluded to in The Mandalorian and the Book of Boba Fett. She also helped the Mandalorians rise up against the Empire.
Space whales, why not? Yo, and they're not just space whales, but they are space whales that I'm pretty sure they're the ones that they get hyperspeed from. Like they learned how to go into hyperspeed from the Purrgil. If I'm not mistaken, it's very similar to how the airbenders learned to like airbend because of the flying bison. That might be wild, but
which resulted in the Great
basically
Purge.
that.
We don't currently know how she has handled the near destruction of her people. I imagine we'll get those answers as she and Ahsoka search for Ezra. The knowledge that Ahsoka trained Sabine in some capacity is new to the series. I think it's unlikely Sabine is Force sensitive. She was probably just continuing her lightsaber training because Ezra gifted her his weapon before disappearing, but we'll have to wait and see. Also joining the quest is Hera Syndulla, who was the leader of the Ghost Crew in Star Wars Rebels.
Hera.
She rose through the ranks of the Rebel Alliance to become a general, serving at the battles of Scarif, Endor, and beyond. She had a son named Jason with a former Jedi named Kanan.
Yo, I literally forgot all about the child, bruh. Like, literally didn't think about the child one itty bitty witty bit. Like, not once have I thought about this child since this show until this video, and they was like, oh yeah, space baby. Like, excuse me? What? Wait, the alien lady gave birth to the human child? I mean, I guess that's possible because they are humanoid. So there might be some crossover genetics. I mean, they might just be human, but with tendrils, I guess. I guess that's very possible.
Jarrus, who died during the events of Rebels. She also had a droid named Chopper, an astromech she rescued from a downed Y-Wing during the Clone Wars when she was just a child. He's cranky and violent and probably has the highest kill count in Star Wars Rebels. Seriously, his body count is in the thousands. The final member of the team is Professor Huyang, another droid seen in a handful of shots from the trailers. He is actually around 25,000 years old, having been created during the Dawn of the Jedi. He helped younglings construct their first lightsabers and had a catalog of nearly every lightsaber ever built in his databank. The crew
It's definitely gonna be dope to see Bro
lightsabers and had a
again.
catalog of nearly every
I really
lightsaber
think he's gonna actually
ever
be very, 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 very important. I mean, a lot of people kind of figure this, but I never really realized how important he will be. But I mean, think about it. He has all the lightsabers known. He's definitely going to be in the new trilogy that we're getting with Rey when she's creating the new Jedi Order. Like, he is definitely going to be pivotal to that. And I would not be surprised if a lot of the things that we are seeing from these shows will actually bleed over into that, very similarly to how everything from the prequels are bled into what we have now, right? Like, think about how much the prequels actually influence where we are within Star Wars when it comes to the Mandalorian and all of that stuff, right? I mean, the original trilogy as well does have a lot of stake in it, but more so does the prequel trilogy. Like, I mean, Mando's ship is literally the ship from Star Wars 1, you know, just things like that. They're getting a lot of stuff from there. So it's for all intents purposes, they could be when they fast forward again and we go into the future. We could just kind of ignore the sequel trilogy, because I don't want to say that they ignore what happened within 7, 8, and 9, but there's not a lot of, like, all they do is give context to what happened in 7, 8, and 9, right? Because 7, 8, and 9 are the 7, 8, 9. Excuse the fuck out of me. 4, 5, and 6. Excuse me. They don't hate on 4, 5, and 6 within the Star Wars universe. It's just they give hella context to what happened into, like, 4, 5, and 6, right? Because you need a lot of context for those situations, because it's kind of, you just may not know what the hell is going on unless you get that context to the situation. So, it's very possible that when we get to the new the new Jedi Order movie with Rey and all of that stuff that's going on and her starting it and all of that, these characters that we're being introduced to now, Grogu, you know, and this robot dude that's still, you know, alive, and maybe even Sabine and Ezra, all these characters could have a lot to do with the future of Star Wars. And hey, they already put their spaceship in that big old fight in 9 at the very end, where where everyone in Star Wars basically comes to help the fight, you know, like their ship is there, so they did help that fight. We don't know who is in that thing, but we know somebody. You know, it could be Zeb, Sabine, Ezra, but I think Ezra would have helped the fight and not been just up in the spaceship if he was, like, there. But who knows? Who knows?
Built in his databank. The crew will likely be traveling the galaxy for at least part of the adventure in Hera's ship, the Ghost. It was the home to her crew in Star Wars Rebels and can be seen at the Battle of Scarif in Rogue One and the Battle of Exegol in The Rise of Skywalker. On the opposite side of the fight, we have Morgan Elsbeth, a character that first appeared in The Mandalorian.
Yo, forgot all about this lady. Legitimately forgot all about this lady. No cap.
She dueled Ahsoka, who demanded to know
Forgot
where
her so much that I literally had no idea that she was in the trailer.
Know where he is, so we might be seeing a bit of a race to find both Ezra and Thrawn. We see Elsbeth access,
like, what?
A star map of some kind, and
I didn't even realize this was her at all. Didn't even click.
While it's not yet confirmed, I believe she is using Night Sister magic to do so, an aspect of the Force associated with the dark side.
I would love this for multiple reasons. One of those reasons is because I've been talking a lot. About how we are supposed to kind of move away from this side of the galaxy and start moving to another side of the galaxy where they view the Force like magic, and it may be possible that this lady is from that side of the galaxy and more, and that might even, I don't know. It's just very possible. very possible.
Joining her hunt are Balin Skull and Shin Hati. Balin is described as a former Jedi who survived the Purge and became a Force-sensitive mercenary during the reign of the Empire. We don't yet know why he is interested in finding Thrawn, but it has something to do with a desire for power. Under his wing is his apprentice, Shin. She is one of the more mysterious characters we've been introduced to in the trailers so far, and we know very little about her. When we last saw Elsbeth, she was captured by Ahsoka. I think it's likely Balin and Shin will be breaking her out of a New Republic transport, an attack we have seen in the trailers. Yet another Force-sensitive works alongside Morgan Elsbeth, a former Inquisitor named Marok. That name and their face is currently unknown, leading fans to question if it's someone we've already met.
I know I saw someone say that it's, what if this was
That
Ezra?
name and their face is currently unknown, leading fans
That would be terrible if this was Ezra. No cap. That would be the worst twist ever.
to question if it's someone we've already met. Their armor matches that of the Eighth Brother, a Jedi hunting character that also appeared in Star Wars Rebels, but we have
I wonder if we're gonna see them
matches that of the
do
Eighth
that.
Brother,
You know, like fly with the
a Jedi
lightsaber. 'Cause
hunting
that's like one of the
character that also
dopest
appeared
things
in
about
Star
those
Wars
characters.
Rebels, but we have no way to confirm that for now. Behind the camera, Writers Guild of America member
Star Wars just goes so crazy in animated form that I think we're going to be let down a little bit with the show. Because, like, they are so agile in the animated show. So, like, bro, it's insane.
Dave Filoni has written all 8 episodes of the season. Dave is well known as one of the producers of The Mandalorian and the surrounding series of that era, but he also has a strong connection to Ahsoka. He created the character alongside George Lucas for the Clone Wars animated series. Filoni was one of the creators of Star Wars Rebels, as well as an executive producer, writer, and director on that series. So all of these characters are near and dear to his heart. He will be directing some episodes of Ahsoka along with Steph Green, Peter Ramsey, Jennifer Getzinger, Geeta Patel, and Rick Famuyiwa. The music will be composed by Kevin Kiner, who wrote fantastic scores for the Clone Wars and Star Wars Rebels, so Ahsoka should feel very consistent in that regard.
That's all fire, bro. I think it's definitely go time. It's definitely go time when it comes to Ahsoka. I'm so hyped, I can't even explain it. I think we're gonna get some really, really dope things from this movie. I mean, from the show, excuse me. And more than all, I do think that we're gonna get a shit ton of this. Actually, we're gonna get a shit ton of world building. I don't think we're gonna have a lot of empty boxes after this. I think we're gonna get a lot of explanations. I mean, I'm not entirely sure what questions we need answered just yet, because I feel like there's so many questions, and it's like I don't know if this show is gonna be the thing to answer everything, even though it should be, because we know that there's also gonna be the Mandoverse movie that's coming out, and that's gonna be the thing to give us all the answers that we're looking for. So there's definitely gonna have to be some empty mystery boxes, or they're going to fill up all the ones and make a whole giant new mystery box for everyone to kind of fill into. So I'm definitely interested in seeing what is going to happen with this show. And I feel like we are going to get a shit ton of world building because, like he said, this is fully written by Dave Filoni. And Ahsoka is Dave Filoni and George Lucas's baby, right? Like, this is the culmination of something that he created with his mentor. Like, he has to go hard in the paint. Like, there's no room for not going crazy hard. So, expectations are definitely through the roof, and I'm not going to even pretend like they aren't. Something that I've been saying when it comes to Ahsoka is expectations are high, but our minds are open. We are open-minded with high expectations because, literally, Ahsoka is being handled by the person that created Ahsoka, right? So, we should be in really good hands. I don't know how much... Disney was in charge of Star Wars through Rebels. and Rebels is Peekerson. Peeker McPeakerson, okay? So I think we're all right. I think we're going to be all right. And I'm very interested to see what's going to be happening in the future. I'm very pumped to see what's going to be happening. So make sure you guys tune in tomorrow at 5:30 p.m. Pacific Standard Time when we watch Ahsoka. Because it's going to be going down. And I am super duper excited. Like, oh, so excited. I just can't hide it. I'm about to lose control and I think I like it. And now, you already know. Make sure y'all mark your calendars. I'm gonna set the stream. I'm gonna set up the lives for the week tonight, most likely. That's the plan. So you'll be able to set your notifications on and all that good stuff. Probably later on tonight when I set all the lives and make sure everything is good. Rebel Moon tomorrow and possibly a video game reveal at Gamescom on the same day. Oh yeah. I forgot Gamescom is tomorrow. You know what? That actually might be the live that we do tomorrow because I know I'm supposed to be doing that for Vane Esports with my brother Vane DeVito. So make sure you guys go over to Vane Esports on the YouTube Baruski and make sure y'all drop a sub over there because we will be live covering Gamescom. We'll be doing a watch party for the Gamescom. I know that starts at 11. I'm not sure when that ends, so I'll have to push the watch party back a little bit. Possibly. Speaking of Vane Esports, let's find out a little bit about Vane. I'm owner and CEO Vane Sensei, as well as the general manager and head of marketing. I'm responsible for all of the organization's daily activities.
What's up, you guys? I'm Vane DeVito, owner, CEO, esports director, and head of networking for Vane Esports. I'll be managing things in the competitive scene.
What's up, guys? I go by Vane Dior. I'm currently the lead director of Vane Esports. So basically what I do is I'm directly in charge of the community manager, the team lead, and the competitive director.
I'm Electro, and I'm the team lead at Vane Esports. What that basically means is I'm going to be helping the Vane team by recruiting new members, such as yourself, as well as overseeing other members' activities within our team.
My name is Simba the Great. I'm a community manager and content creator for Vane Esports Board. We're looking for active gamers who are willing to create, stream, and grind with the Vane family.
Hello, I'm Gabriel Mrvlous, also known as Vane Echo. I'm the competitive director for Vane Esports. I'm super excited to work on this journey with you guys and create a very fun and competitive mindset.
And we're not just looking for competitive players, content creators, and streamers. We're also looking for those community members, those casual gamers, those people that just love video games for the sake of loving video games. That is right. So make sure y'all tap in with Vane Esports Org immediately. My gaming organization. So go ahead, tap in with that, as I have already said. All right. And now it is time for my favorite part of this show. And I'm pretty sure it's a lot of your guys' favorite part of the show as well. And that means you already know what time it is. Y'all already know. That's right. It's time for Scoop Central. All right. It is time for Scoop Central. You guys already know the best time of the show. We're talking about some amazing things today. I ain't gonna lie, and I hope y'all ready to dive on into it. We're talking about Daredevil. We're talking about Thor 5. We're talking about Nova. We're talking about Silver Surfer. We got a whole bunch of amazing things on the docket when it comes to Scoop Central. So let's get in to Scoop Central. Oh my God, of course this is happening right now. That's my bad. I didn't mean to do that. Let's get into Scoop Central, where we will talk about all of the amazing scoops that are going to be going on. Let's get it on. Starting with Thor 5. Taika Waititi will most likely not be returning as they move in a more serious and darker tone. Beta Ray Bill and Hercules are the antagonists of this film. Thor will be older in this film. I will say this isn't a priority for Feige at the moment. Hulk, X-Men, and Kang are all priority for Marvel right now. So will we be seeing Thor 5 in the future? Yes. Is that something that is going to be on the docket for a soon type of vibe? No. And I actually think that that is a good thing coming for Thor 5, right? That sounds like a really good thing. We want Thor to be in a more serious and darker tone. We definitely we want to move away from the super hilarious, funny, ha-ha, hee-hee vibe. I wish it didn't take... I wish that happened with Thor 4. I feel like Thor 4 was the perfect time to go into a darker realm because you're almost starting a new trilogy, right? And this new trilogy could have led him in a darker place, but it did not. And we are where we are with that now. So hopefully, this ends up being a banger of a movie when it does come out. But like I already said, this isn't a priority for Marvel. And I don't think it's a priority for us as fans either, right? So let's let that air out and let's just hope for the best. Moving on to Nova. We've all been talking about Nova a lot. We really want to see Nova be introduced into the MCU. There's been a lot of talk of Nova lately as well. So let's get into what Mike Beasley got to say about this. There's a bogus rumor that Nova has been shelved. That is not true. So just getting ahead of all that other stuff, right? It is not true. This is not true. Nova has not been shelved. Disney is downsizing their projects for budgetary reasons. Disney is trying to sell off some assets like their TV channels, etc. And Nova was supposed to be a Disney Plus series. We know that Iger is slashing the amount of Disney Plus shows we're getting, so that's where this rumor came from. The plan is to move Nova forward with Richard Rider, and it will most likely be a theatrical project. I mean, so again, I really need this Nova movie to be a banger. I'm not going to lie. I've kind of already said my piece about what I want from the Nova movie, but I'll say it again. I really need Nova to start with what we didn't see of Thanos collecting the Power Stone. I'm pretty sure that's the reason why they did not add that. You know what I mean? I am pretty sure they did not add that part so we could get it going, Like before we get that moving on forward, we can't move past that. We can't have Nova without acknowledging the fact that Thanos literally decimated Nova. Like, killed everyone. Like, did them worse than he did the Asgardians. You feel me? Like, we definitely need to know that. And we need to see it. So, I hope we do get to see it, and I'm hyped if we do. And once again, like, you can't have that movie without showing that. So, let's hope that gets popping. Daredevil. I know everybody's ready for some Daredevil, right? Let's jump into the scoop on Daredevil. I'm not going to lie, I am extremely hyped for Daredevil Born Again. We already know that Daredevil is going to be... I'll talk about it in a second, actually. So let's get it. This will definitely be darker and more violent than the Netflix series. Given that they're using Devil's Reign storyline, it makes sense. Foggy Nelson and Karen Page. There's been a lot of speculation as to why there's no news that has come out about them. And that's simple. It's the NDA. We've already known that they were supposed to be in it for a while. They won't announce the actors returning, but somewhere within the last episodes, Foggy and Karen will return. No announcements, no confirmations, just to be a shock moment, and it will be the Netflix actors. So, the only reason why I left this on here is because we already knew that they was coming back. We've known that they was coming back for a while now, actually. So that's why I went ahead and just kept that on there, because we have known for a while that they was going to be coming back. It's just, I guess the general public didn't know these things, but us here at the on Marvel Bros, we've been knowing that Foggy and Page and Karen Page are definitely going to be coming back for sure. So I'm hyped for this. I'm hyped that it's going to be more violent than the Netflix series and darker. They've definitely set it up for being darker and more violent than the Netflix series. Since this is supposed to be the Devil's Reign storyline, that is when Wilson Fisk takes over New York as being the mayor, basically, and he kind of goes up against Luke Cage as being the mayor, and some other stuff happens, But overall, that's kind of the main points of of that comic, and it's pretty intense. Like, that comic is pretty intense. So it just makes so much sense that they'll be using it'll be darker and more violent. Like, that just makes so much sense. And look at how Daredevil was in She-Hulk. Like, people like to diss She-Hulk. Like, they love to diss She-Hulk. But my guy was definitely jumping up and down, going crazy. And they teased us with that hallway scene, right? They just teased us. And Mans was going crazy already. So, when we get Daredevil's show, we are going to be so just at a loss for words. And it's supposed to be 18 episodes. Or, but it's supposed to be 18 episodes, so we have a shit ton to get through with that show. It's gonna be fantastic. It is gonna be fantastic, and I really can't wait. Silver Surfer. I love me some Silver Surfer. I can't lie, yo. I have loved Silver Surfer for a while. I'm not gonna lie. Once again, like, I think the first time I saw Silver Surfer, it was in the Fox movie from the X-Men, I think. I might be wrong about that, but that was kind of the first time I really, saw him be, like, portrayed as the best. Well, I mean, obviously, it's the only live-action version that we've got of him, but it just was next level. Like, Vision reminds me a lot of, like, what I would want from Silver Surfer. I'm actually kind of sad that we don't get to see that actor be him. But for Silver Surfer, I'm actually hyped for what we got from him, right? He will play a huge role in Secret Wars. They'll do this to make up for him not being a part of the Infinity Saga. They didn't have the rights for him, obviously, so they couldn't use him for that. But in the Infinity Saga, in the Infinity War comic, it's Silver Surfer that bursts through the Sanctum Sanctorum, not Hulk, Bruce Banner. We know he's getting his own special also, and this is a bonus drop. He's going to fight Thor in Secret Wars, giving a nod to the cover art of Silver Surfer #4. Which is this. So we will be getting a moment very similar to this in Secret Wars, but it will be of Silver Surfer it'll be just like this, just Silver Surfer versus Thor, yo. Like, in Secret Wars. Like, come on. You can't even, what do you even do with that information? I'll tell you what, you pass out. You faint. You just faint because this movie is going to be insane. And there's honestly no telling what's going to be going down. Like, oh my God. Silver Surfer, I just can't wait for it, yo. I love me some Silver Surfer, so we're going to have to just wait and see what they got for us. And then finally, last but not least, Annihilation Wave. Do you guys remember when people thought Endgame was going to be like Annihilation, or Infinity War was going to be the Annihilation Wave? Like, a lot of people thought that that's what was going to be going on, and that they were going to start bringing Annihilus into the fray. Like, that was the big thought around Infinity War and Endgame before we had those two big movies. A lot of people just assumed it was going to be this. And now, here it is. Dropped this one before, and we have an update. This will be a theatrical release. The director of the Marvels said that Feige wasn't listening to her pitch for Part 3. And that's because Feige has plans that are to have those characters in this film versus Annihilus. So we will see Captain Marvel, Photon, Adam Warlock, Phyla-Vell, Nova, and Darkhawk in this film versus Annihilus. Yo. Feige is going too crazy. Like, Feige is just, he's just like, bruh, everything is on the table right now for Feige. And I'm all here for it. It's just baffling. It is just baffling that he's so on board for all the stuff that's been going on within the MCU, bro. Because, I mean, they're just ramping up the power level. They're ramping up, just everything is getting so ramped up right now. And I truly cannot believe it, yo. Like, I truly cannot believe it. Annihilation Wave, Silver Surfer, Daredevil, Nova, and Thor 5. Thor versus Beta Ray Bill and Hercules. And then later on, also going up against Silver Surfer, bro? Like, crazy, bro. These are some crazy scoops that we've got today. Some definitely crazy ones. Big scoops. Spider-Man 4 needs to happen with Tobey. We're going to get a Spider-Man 4 with Tobey, and we're going to get a Spider-Man 4 with Tom Holland. Everybody's getting their movies, yo. There's nothing to worry about with that. Everybody is going to get they do. More violent than the Netflix series? Holy shit. Yeah. Daredevil, Devil's Reign is definitely wild. So having this be more violent than that is going to be, like, I'm loving that it's going to be more violent, but the fact that it's going to be darker as well is like, holy shit. They're about to go crazy with it then, because, like, that first series was pretty dark at a lot of moments. Like, Kingpin's backstory is pretty dark, but it'll probably even get darker the deeper we get within the show, and just kind of introducing a lot more of that Defender stuff that's going on, and getting in there with Fisk being the mayor. If that's actually what's going to be happening, like, full blown, I don't know if he'll be just running for mayor, or if he'll already be mayor when we come to Devil's Reign. I mean, not Devil's Reign, but Born Again. When we get to Born Again, we don't know which one it's going to be, but we know it's going to get crazy. I'm hoping that they kind of use it to possibly nerf or retcon Karen as being the power broker, and have it being, him being the power broker or something like that. I don't know, but we'll see. Is Defenders going to be canon? I kind of want to erase what they did with Elektra. What they did with Elektra will be erased, but Defenders are going to... It's going to be selective canon. That's basically what we're looking at when it comes to the Defenders and all these other characters. They are going to be... Like, a lot of these characters will be played by the same actors from other shows and shit like that, but they're not going to be a one-of-one iteration from what happened, right? Very similar to how we were just talking about with Ahsoka, how they retconned the book and what happened in the book with Tales of the Jedi. That's kind of what's going to happen here. There will be slight retconning to the situation, not heavy retconning to the point to where it's like, yo, this isn't the same at all. But it's like, you know, they'll mention a couple things that may have happened in the other show, but there will be a shit ton of other things that have happened that they won't mention. And we have to remember that, hold on. So Daredevil's final season, is slated. It possibly takes place in the winter of 2018 or late 2017, right before the Battle of Wakanda for Infinity War, right? So once that happens, there's a 5-year gap. There's a 5 to 8 year gap that possibly takes place for Daredevil. 5 to 8 year gap, yo. So there's a lot of different stuff that can happen in that 5 to 8 years. And they're probably going to be a little bit more focused on contextualizing the shit that happened around then instead of solidifying past things that have already occurred, you know? Did you know there's an entire Silver Surfer series in the 90s animated universe? What? Yo, I don't know about none of the 90s animated, or I don't know really about any of the Marvel or DC animated stuff from like the 90s other than like X-Men and Spider-Man, I think. And Justice League. No, I'm just playing. But like I know about a couple things, but I'm not not well versed in all of that. I was reading manga when I was younger, so I wasn't watching a lot of those tunes, you know what I'm saying? But that is all we have for Scoop Central today, and I hope everybody had a good time in Scoop Central because it's always a vibe whenever we make a stop at Scoop Central. And with all, oh my gosh, that was crazy. And with all that being said, I definitely appreciate each and every one of you guys for tuning in and vibing with me on this marvelous Monday. And I hope each and every one of you guys had a marvelous Monday as well. If you guys haven't already, make sure you drop a like and a share on the stream to help all of that vibes get out and jiggly around here. Definitely follow us on social media at Marvel Bros to stay up to date with all things Marvel and everything pop culture. You can also follow me on social media at Sensei Finito to stay up to date with all my thoughts, theories, and opinions. Follow me on TikTok. I'm trying to post a video every single day. I'm going to try to post a video right now on TikTok before it hits midnight today. So definitely go check that out. Don't forget, we do have our watch party and review tomorrow for Ahsoka at 5:30 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. I'll also be going live for Gamescom tomorrow, so you can tune in, like I said, with Vane Esports, so you can know that that's going on and just vibe out and vibe in. You know what I'm saying? I definitely appreciate all of you guys. You definitely deserve all the love, and you can't forget a lovely round of applause for you guys for making today an amazing show. As I always say, I hope you guys stay awesome, stay vain, and don't forget to stay marvelous. Excelsior.
All you gotta do is visit our website at www.marvel.com. Buy some merch. Represent the superfan.
or you can join our Patreon to get early access to content, patron-only scoops, giveaways, private Q&As, and those sacred watch parties.
We appreciate you guys. We'll catch you on the next one.
Excelsior.
On today's pop culture news update.
And on today's pop culture news update.
On today's pop culture news update.